All right. So right now we have another new Q&A session hosted by us on our Sidon channel on Twitter Spaces Live, and also is going to be posted later on YouTube. So for today, what we are going to be talking about is actually the life behind an entrepreneurship journey, which is not all about tropical islands and cocktails on the beach and driving a yellow Lamborghini, but it's actually what is the struggle behind and what we actually find useful as a mindset to go over challenges that may arise and actually get over all aspects in regard to our business's progress. Today we have with us Filip, which he's the COO and co-founder for Swipelux. And I'm going to also let him present himself and provide us a brief introduction for him.
First of all, thanks for the invitation, and hi everyone. Hopefully you will learn something new from the things that I'll be sharing. Well, a little bit about me. I am a 24 years old guy that is in 7 years in crypto. I've started with building mining farms, and I was counting it when I was in Bali. It was 13 business ideas that 12 of them failed. And the last one is called Swipelux. At Swipelux, we are building fiat on ramp. We are providing crypto businesses an option to let their end users purchase virtual assets like tokens and NFTs with a payment card. And it's been 2 years since I've established Swipelux, and so far we are doing pretty great, and it's an exciting journey.
Nice. Sounds really interesting. So I think that we can also, after this introduction, we can just jump into it because it's exactly what we wanted to hear, so we can then start with the topics. So the first thing we should I want to talk about is about entrepreneur's lifestyle and what it is all about, and when to expect success and when does the struggle end in the life of an entrepreneur.
Well, usually like how my day looks like is that someone can say it's extremely boring. Like I'm just sitting in front of the computer, talking with people, thinking about stuff and dealing with stress, because startup is about having 100 issues and trying to solve the biggest one and trying to see like what's the biggest one. So, for me, it's like being able to take the risks, to make some decisions and try to mitigate them and maximize the success. If I would translate this, it's a lot of thinking, lots of work behind a computer, execution of the ideas, fast execution, and having the right people in the team, and understanding how to rely on someone, understanding how to delegate in the right way. And for me, it's fun. I like it. For me, it's like I'm moving on the edge always. I'm not sure if it will go the right way or if it will fail. I'm always like on the edge, and that's what I really enjoy. Like balancing on the edge. Imagine you are going between two buildings across like some rope, and you have just some stick that you're balancing with. And it's fully your responsibility. I like that. You don't know if you will fall or you will end up on the other end, but you have to balance.
Yeah, that's right, indeed. So this is actually what I also think. It's a lot of uncertainty. You actually have no idea if your decision is the best one or not. It's just you're gonna have to actually try to believe in yourself and in your idea. Try to actually move forward and try to take the best decision as you can as fast as possible, of course, because this is, I think, another important aspect during the life cycle of a startup, is that you're going to have to be reactive to the market and to what you're going to have to do and what you're going to have to achieve. And of course, once something is proven to not be working or is expected, should be dropped and not have any emotional attachment to it. I think that's a very important aspect that we should always consider. And it's you also mentioned something in which I also find interesting in regard to delegating duties and tasks. Don't you find it sometimes? So, for example, this is what I was struggling at some point myself. with the fact that even though I'm trying to delegate, sometimes I just want to have my vision in it, because I think that that's sort of like the most important aspect. And how do you actually drop the micromanagement stuff on your side?
Well, I was struggling with that as well because I was thinking that if I will not oversee it
Yeah.
in details, the other people will just mess up and will fail with the execution of the task, and it was extremely
Mm-hmm.
selfish. And
Mm-hmm.
to answer this question, because I was answering that as well for myself, I had to go to the beginning of the journey, which is hiring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you should, I think, start with. Like, you need
Mm-hmm.
to hire the right people. And the right people for the startup, I think, are the ones who can solve issues by themselves
Mm-hmm.
and are kind of enjoying solving issues. And of course, have the background in the expertise level that you need, but basically they are happy when there is an issue in front of them and they are able to react on it. So if something like this is inside of a person, it's 50% of the game is already won.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say 30% are the skill set, and the 20% is responsibility of the founder or manager or director,
Mm-hmm.
which is being able to clearly, at least for me, clearly um, describe what is the vision and what are the objectives.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should start with. Like I saw it many, many times that some people have failed in some jobs or like executing some tasks, but it was just because they were micromanaged or they just didn't understood the whole vision and the objective of the task. So
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do in a way is take your brain, replicate it in many, many ways. You have like 10 of your brains and
Yeah.
kind of like put it inside of the people in a way that they will understand why they are doing the task, why they are
Mm-hmm.
working on the thing that they are working, and they will just see the clear picture. And if they see the clear picture, it's really really common that they will make the right decisions, or the decisions that you would agree with, even though
Yeah.
they don't have to ask you. So start with hiring, set a clear objective and vision, and don't be afraid to rely on someone. You have to try it,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
you will fail probably multiple times.
Most of the
And
time, yes.
yeah, and then you will have to fire people,
Yeah.
lay off people because you've made a bad decision with hiring them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's your responsibility. So, mm, yeah, it's hard, it's fun, but the learning curve, I think, it's pretty fast. So,
Yeah.
with some time, you can make it perfect. I'm not perfect at this as yet as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have actually highlighted something that I actually have struggled with about a few years ago, about a couple of years ago when I first started to do the hirings. This is because I was thinking that everybody is like myself, everybody's thinking as I do, and we all share the same vision and the same mindset, which is not true. So this is what I was mistaking. That is because I had a discussion with someone. Maybe I was excited because I also needed people to join my team. And I would say, right, so that's not important. I can actually try to sort of like educate the new joiner from our team and actually try to share the mindset I do. But if you don't have the connection right from the first discussions, I think that's not going to happen. What I used to do back then was hire fast and fire slow once someone was not a good fit for the position, which we had. And actually, that was sort of like my mistake. And throughout time, I actually have discovered that I lose way more resources and time and energy if I hire fast and try to actually educate and put my energy into it. And once you actually don't see any results, that is going to be way more exhausting than just hiring slow. You just take your time. You're gonna have of course, you're gonna have a bit more job to do and tasks, but that's good because once you get the right person in your team, you're actually going to be relieved, and it's going to be a very very smooth and easy process to become autonomous in our organization.
Yeah, and like one thing that I have applied and also kind of works for me as well
Mm-hmm.
is like making the hiring process perfect is almost impossible. You never know
That's
how
right.
will the people actually work. They
Mm-hmm.
can they can sell you anything on the call, on the interview. They are perfect, blah 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 blah. Yeah, you believe
Mm-hmm.
them because you are the nice guy. And then there is the actual work, and you are not satisfied, and you need to do something about it. and they also maybe will not be satisfied. The vision that you sold them is not fulfilled, and
Yeah.
it's both scenarios are completely okay. So what I have applied is, let's try to work with each other for 2 weeks, without, any kind of like full-time contract for 1 year or something like that. Let's just try it with each other, like two weeks or maybe 1 week. Let's try to do some small project with each other to understand if the structure and if the relationship will work or not. And this was one of the really, really great decisions I've made when hiring people. You can experience how they are working. You can experience how their daily routine is like, how they like to communicate, and they can see the same on your side. So by the end of the week, you're like, okay, so how did you like it?
Yeah.
Well, and it's okay to say I didn't like it. It's like, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't have to
Yeah.
fire you, or I don't have
Yeah.
to then admit that I've made a bad decision. So with this, you can skip or increase the chance of not doing some bad move.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this sounds like an interesting approach. But how is the availability of the people that you're suggesting this to? Because I'm assuming that someone is not actually on the bench, let's say, or they're on the side. They maybe are already having a job. They already have a full-time responsibility. And how are they responding to the suggestion to have a trial in regard to the hiring and try to understand how good of a fit it would be for the two of you to be working together?
Yeah, it's a good one. So I would say that you can, like, at least 6 to 8 hours work with you is enough, and everybody should be able to do it, even with a full-time job. And if not, well, then he is probably not a great fit for a startup, because you have to be able to sacrifice your time sometimes in order to just like work longer than 9 to 5. Hello,
Yeah.
this is startup.
Mm-hmm.
That's what probably I would say. Like, and if they would not be able to understand it, um, it would be maybe like badly explained, or they are just like not a great fit for a startup.
Yeah.
In startup, there are periods where you actually will work 14 hours a day, and you need people who will be willing to work 14 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
because you will be in some big trouble and you need to fix it. And this needs time. You need to fix it fast. And in later stages, I think in a startup, when you have more than 50 employees and generating really, really nice revenue, you can hire
Yeah.
people from 9 to 5. I think like they can follow the structure and stuff like that, but I don't think in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right, because at that point you can actually afford to have discomfort with your employees and sort of like have a relaxed culture. But yeah, this is why I was curious, because I also tried this at some point, and I think I tried it about 3 times with a
Mm.
few candidates, and every time. But again, this is another challenge which we're having right now where I'm based. That is because most of the companies in my area are actually multinational companies, big companies. And when they hear about startups, they hear about the fact that they're gonna have to do long hours sometimes, and that's something that they're not interested quite often. But yeah, I always actually got the same answer. So there was some sort of like an interest for the first couple of days, but that actually faded by the end of the week. And then I got a reply back where I said, I don't have the time for that right now. Maybe we can keep in touch and try to discuss furthermore later down the road. So this is why I was very curious about how is the let's say the reaction that you're getting after suggesting this.
This is common, this happens, but for me it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Like if
Mhm.
if it's like for a junior or mid position, it's like
Mhm.
perfect. Yeah, I understand that you don't like it. If it is for senior position, well, senior people will not do that. Like they'll be
Exactly.
like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for senior people, it's a long, long hiring. Like, for example, like 5 rounds of interview, test cases, having brainstorming sessions. What I've done, for example, as a hiring procedure is like having 1 hour call for brainstorming
Mhm.
about some issue that we have right now. And
Mhm.
I would like to see like how he's able to solve it,
Yeah.
and how he's thinking about stuff. So for senior people, I would suggest like a different structure. But for junior or mid people, this is a good way. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but sometimes even the junior or mid, they just like don't know yet what they like
Yeah.
because they haven't been in the market for that long. Senior people usually really understand, what is expected. They are there for 70 years. They exactly know what they are doing. They know what they want to do. But junior slash mid, I think you can do it. For me, it worked.
All right, this sounds great. Sounds great. So definitely once I'm actually going to end this call with you, I'm going to keep putting it into practice. Perhaps we're gonna find some candidates which are going to be a good fit for this type of scenarios. So yeah, another aspect which I actually want to shed light on it, I want to go back sort of like in the first question, is in regard to the entrepreneur's lifestyle. Because everybody's expecting. So actually, I did the same thing at some point. I was thinking that I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna put some money aside. I'm gonna start a business, and that's it. You start a business, you get people. Everything is working according to plan. Everything is fine. Life is good, and you're gonna go on holiday each weekend. I don't know, or maybe every day. You're just gonna join some calls in the morning, and that's it. And I think this is important because so the way I actually visualize it right now is that in the beginning I thought that it's like a small road which you have the light in the tunnel at the end of it. But once you get into it and once you go through challenges and trying to launch and so on, the light is actually moving away. So it's just moving further away. I think the most important thing to realize is the fact that the journey itself is the one that is most important because you actually pick a lot of experiences and knowledge. And actually the destination is not that important because destination might actually be different from what you were thinking in the beginning.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, my friend once told me that, like, look, and as an entrepreneur or founder, you are not getting like paid extremely well in the
Yeah.
beginning. Like, I think that like the right founders should have almost the lowest salary in the
Yeah.
company, at least in the beginning. At least in
Mm-hmm.
the beginning, because you don't want to waste that money on yourself. You should live like a homeless because you have people in your company that are believing you and you're putting their career in a risk in a way. So, but the point is that it's kind of like a marathon. That's how I look at it. It's like a long run, but in the end of the road, there's like extremely high and huge bonus. And along the way, you're gonna have people who helped you, and they should also get part of this bonus.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's like I understand the risk, and I know that I'm mitigating it in the best way possible. I know that we will be like $1 billion company valuation unicorn. I know we can do it, and the struggles I enjoy them. I know it sounds maybe like strange or like crazy, but like I enjoy the troubles. I enjoy fixing it, and it's okay to just like not accept the fact that like I don't want to go through this, because to be honest, I don't even think that the definition of success, which is being presented by social medias, which is having a lot of money and a lot of like
Yeah.
cars and houses, is something that makes you happy. Like I
Yeah.
don't really think that. Like I've met a lot of people that just like are billionaires, like especially here in Dubai, and I wouldn't say they're happier. Um, so, the motivation just because of the money is just like not the truth. It will not work out for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think that everybody should find their own definition in a way of success and what risk they want to take, and if they want to go this crazy road. Because let's face the truth, like building a startup can take like 7 6 7 years, and the success of and the chance of success is really small. You have to know it.
Yeah.
Like it's just objective, and only crazy people are going into this environment.
Yeah.
But I love these people, and I am part of these people, and I
Yeah.
believe that these people are changing the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's just like you have to be able to face the truth and work with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
So
right.
I hope it's not too depressing, but it's
That's
it's true.
That's the reality. That's right. So that's exactly the reality. And indeed, it's feeling very good to have this. It's challenging every day. It's hard work. It's compromising. You actually have less time for your personal life, and you're gonna have to reduce like your lifestyle of going out and so on because you're gonna have to focus. And that's the most important thing. Because I also discovered that if you have one night in which you're not sleeping well enough, you're gonna be losing focus for 2 days, and that's not worth it anymore. And you have actually mentioned two important aspects, which I also emphasize and I also like, which was the first one, always reward yourself last. I think that's also very, very important. So you're actually going to have to reward your team and your employees. You're actually going to have to pay off yourself in the end. And the second aspect is the motivation. So if you're only doing something for money, that's not gonna stand, because once you're gonna get challenges after challenges after challenges and roadblocks after roadblocks, you're eventually going to quit. You're going to forfeit, and that's why it's important to believe in something, to have a vision, to have a dream. Practically, you should have a dream and actually try to work as much as you can to put it into life.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. And just to not make it sound like trying to motivate people and just repeating things that
Mm-hmm.
I've heard many, many times, like don't do it
Yeah,
for the money.
yeah.
That's not the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, especially if, for example, I want to exit the company and build like $1 billion valuation company at
Mm-hmm.
least, and then with the money that I'm gonna make, I want to invest it into startups. I
Mm-hmm.
just like want to spend the rest of my life in startup environment. Like
Yeah.
if it's possible and nothing bad will happen, I want to do it. I want to
Mm-hmm.
invest into people that are building like things that will save this planet. And
Yeah.
there are so many bright people that are building amazing stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you just need to find the right people, kind of like hire them, use the skill set that you've learned as an entrepreneur, like hiring people, finding the right guy to talk with and spend time with, and
Mm-hmm.
invest into them, and they will
Yeah.
fix some issue. So with the work that you're gonna do in a startup, at least for me, I'm gonna reward a huge amount of people and
Mm-hmm.
fix hopefully lots of issues in this world. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's like, yeah, money, but I'm gonna translate the money into investing into startups. So that's at least for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds like a very, very um, ambitious plan, and I actually wish you that you're going to be successful in what you're wishing for and to have. And who knows? Maybe you're gonna see your accelerator quite soon. That would be
Yeah,
very
yeah,
nice.
maybe.
All right. So, what I was thinking to talk about next is what do you think, in your opinion, that would constitute a proper mindset for successfully being able to manage every challenge that may arise during the entrepreneurship journey, and what do you think that would constitute the most important principles that one should have?
Mm. Well, again, like what works for me and like how I usually structure the work in a
Mhm.
week, or like the work-life balance is I go to gym, I do lots of sport,
Mhm.
because it's you're gonna get depressed, and you're gonna feel the pressure on your shoulders. It's
Yeah.
a huge pressure. You have pressure from investors, you have pressure from your co-founder, you have pressure from your employees, and everybody believes you. And sometimes it's just too much, and it's okay that it's too much. And you need to reset yourself in a way. So for me, it's like going every day to gym or do some sport, um, living healthy. You don't want to drink too much. You don't want to smoke. You don't want to drink a lot of coffee. You just like need to be extremely healthy as a
Yeah.
person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you should be able to just say, okay, like this hour or like these 2 hours, I'm not just working. I'm not working. I'm not going to do something fun and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So you will again like understand that you are not a robot and you can also enjoy life a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for me, it's like once a week for let's say 3 hours, 4 hours. Um, and then what works for me is to and I'm doing it every evening, is like I'm sitting in a computer and writing what I was doing throughout the day. So I'm just like sorting out through my thoughts. It's kind of like a meditation in a way. Like I'm
Okay.
sorting it through my thoughts, what I was working today, um, what I'm planning to work on tomorrow. And what I've started to do on when I was in Bali,
Okay.
uh, I have started to write every day who I want to make happy the other day. So it's like you are also not kind of you are also respecting that you are of your own life and you want to make other people like happy and you want to feel comfortable within the environment that you are at. So that's something that works for me. That's kind of like the daily habit that I have that makes me feel energetic, that makes me feel refreshed, that makes me feel motivated, blah 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 blah. But like finding some motivation that like I'm gonna look in the mirror saying you will be successful. You will be not like this doesn't work for me. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah.
I believe that what we are building in the company will change the world. And that's everything that I need to know. Like I just like know it, and I know that I have people who are helping us with fulfilling the vision and yeah. So staying healthy, staying focused, staying sharp. That's for me.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a very good set of habits. I also think that's very, very important. So yeah, it's actually the same thing from my side. So the way I see it is, if the day starting from tomorrow is going to expand to 30 hours, I'm gonna have work for 30 hours every day. So this is why it's important, I think, as you have said, to make time, because at some point in life, it doesn't always resume to when I'm gonna have time, I'm gonna start doing that. It maybe it's not gonna be the same. So you're gonna have to actually schedule it like you have a meeting or you have a session or have a podcast. You're gonna have to schedule going to the gym. You're gonna have to schedule any meeting and so on and personal time. And I think that's actually very, very important to have. I also do the same thing. So I go to the gym in the morning. Usually I go at 6 a.m. After I work out, I do a very cold shower, which is actually very refreshing, and it's releasing stress. And I have realized that the day I'm not doing that, I'm actually feeling the pressure way, way harsh than during the days that I'm going to the gym and doing those habits. And again, as you have mentioned, that's very, very important. What I also visualize, so as you have mentioned, I try to not drink alcohol only in exceptional cases. I don't smoke, I don't do that stuff, because I'm actually trying to keep my life and my emotions actually balanced and stable. So sort of like a straight line, which is having like small fluctuations. So I don't have huge spikes of excitement and joy. I don't have downfalls of sadness and I don't know, maybe depression, something like that. And I think that's important, because I don't let myself go in that area, because if I go high, I can actually fall way low than I was in my stable area. So I think this is important to have sort of like a balance, as you have mentioned, and try to actually work on it. And in regard to writing your thoughts at the end of the day, I think that's a very good thing. And I'm actually going to try it out as well, because it sounds like you can actually this way you can actually reflect throughout the day. You can find what you have did good, what you did wrong, what your mistakes, and you can actually reflect on those and come up with suggestions and solutions for a future self, so you can actually tackle those like way better for future.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. And I think like doing the structuring of your thoughts in the end of the day is like really, really important because
Mhm,
throughout the day you got like
mhm.
100 notifications.
That's right.
You have 10 meetings, 14 meetings. You have
Hmm.
so much going on. It's like
Hmm.
it's just hard to be just with yourself and reflect on yourself and on the day.
Hmm.
So I would suggest, having airplane mode on, just like being with yourself and for 20 minutes just writing on an iPad or I don't know, MacBook or something that you have, and
Hmm.
it will help, and
Hmm.
it will make the other day much more clear, and you will feel much more refreshed again. So this is what I suggest, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's definitely very important. And also, so this is again what works for my side, is the fact that, so what I was thinking before is that I should have order and have everything sorted out in my professional life, and then I'm gonna start with my personal life, like emotional side and family and so on. And I think that at least for my side that didn't work, and that was a very, very bad mindset. That's because I also saw a post recently from Netflix's co-founder, which he has mentioned that even though he has a lot of time and a lot of work to do, a lot of tasks and so on, he still finds time to spend with his wife and kids, and he also has set schedules for that throughout the week with specific time slots so that he can actually spend time with his family. And this is what actually I'm trying to do myself. So during the weekends, I try to spend as much time as possible with my girlfriend, try to enjoy ourselves, and actually try to relax in the couple, because I think that's the most important energy which you can actually make use of to then recharge yourself emotionally and then be able to tackle everything at once, and you're actually going to not drop in energy that bad. So this is what actually is working for me. But again, I think it depends and varies from person to person, and from mindset to mindset.
Yeah, and another suggestion is that at least worked for me is start early. You know, like I was starting with some business thoughts when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
That's like when I first made a couple of bucks for me, for
Yeah.
myself. And like when as I said, like I had like 13 business ideas. All of them failed. It doesn't matter. But the thing is that the older you get, the more responsibilities you have and the more people you have around yourself that you have to take care of. And
Mm-hmm.
you have lower chance, or like you are not that risk averse. You cannot risk that much because you are not alone in your life. You have mortgage to pay, you have car loan to
Mm-hmm.
pay, whatever, and you just cannot risk that much as if
Mm-hmm.
you are like me, who has no kids,
Yeah.
no mortgage, no stuff, no loan stuff, stuff like that. I can risk as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
and um, yeah. So it's for me, it's like learning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the risk, and
Yeah.
so don't be afraid to start early. Like lots of
Mm-hmm.
people are waiting uh, for for I need to learn this and this and this, and I need to go to this job to get
Mm-hmm.
this skill set. Sure, I understand, but if it is inside of you, you're not gonna use everything you've learned.
Yeah.
You're still gonna understand that you don't know 95% of stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna need to learn them along the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, well, right now I was working at two jobs that are helping me to be entrepreneur, so I'm gonna success. Oh
Yeah.
well, welcome to the real entrepreneur world. You're not gonna success with the knowledge you got in your two previous jobs. You need to learn, study, and apply, and you still may gonna fail. So
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
so starting early is I think really beneficial.
Yeah. Right. So to every watcher that we're gonna have on our YouTube channel as well. So this is the key takeaway for this. If you have a business idea, if you want to start something on yourself or independent, just go to it. There's no right time, there's no right moment, there's no right idea from the beginning. You're just gonna have to work on it. Just try to validate it, talk to your friends, family, and whoever is close to you to see if they're gonna have any interest into it, and then just get to it. Get to work, try to actually make your dream a reality. You're gonna have to, if you're gonna have to start over, that's fine. We all do, we all have failures, we all have things that we're actually not proud of, but we actually learn from them, and we can use those experiences and this accumulated knowledge to actually move forward.
Yes, I agree with that. And I would just add one more thing, a little promotion. Not promotion of myself, but I think that today is really great time to start with consulting your business idea with OpenAI. Like
Mm-hmm.
use ChatGPT to brainstorm
Yeah.
with about your business ideas.
Yeah.
Use ChatGPT to draft you a business plan. Use
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT to tell you what you should do as the next steps. Like there is nothing else, like nothing better now than using ChatGPT, and
Mm-hmm.
you can use it today for free. It's just
Yeah.
like go for it, and you're gonna see it really beneficial. I'm using it every day, and
Yeah.
it helps me a lot. So feel free to use it. It's genius tool, and mm, yeah. So this is just a little last advice.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I also recommend the same. So you have my support because I also use that. So yeah, that's a very, very good and very important advice that everyone should take into consideration. And I think that's a very great thing to have. All right. So thank you, Philip, for the great advice and for the mention of GPT. That's indeed a very, very useful tool that everyone should actually use. And I think now we can actually jump to the next and the last topic that we're gonna talk about, and the last question, which is what is something that your company Swipelux is actually proud of?
I would have to start with I'm really, really proud of the commitment from our colleagues and employees that we have in Swipelux to believe us as me and my co-founder to fulfilling the vision that we've built. That's what I'm proud of the most. I'm also proud of myself and my co-founder to building this vision and pushing for already 2 years for making this a reality and to keep thriving. So yeah, of as I call them sometimes, like my little Smurf family, which are the colleagues and my co-founder. Yeah, I have to start with and I have to say to be proud of a human you know
Yeah.
humans that we have in the company. That's what I'm proud of the most.
That's very nice. That's very nice. I think it's very important to be proud of your team. That's a very important aspect because this is what actually is driving your company forward. Your team, your mindset, and your culture that are actually spreading to your in your actual organization. So yeah, that's very, very important to be having. And yeah, I think this is it. Thank you very much for your time, Philip. It was a very, very big pleasure to have you with us. And guys, if you have any questions or comments, please ask those in the comment section below. And we're also going to be addressing those later on. Perhaps we're gonna have Philip as well in the future, so we can then resume the same topics and actually expand. Great. Well, thank you very much, Philip.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It was exciting to talk about these topics. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right. Well, see you next time, guys. Bye bye.